wanted to talk to you this week about how to unlock your training. So this will look different for everybody, and it's dependent on a couple of things. So the first thing it's dependent on is what your actual goal is for training, whether it's wanting to get fitter, it's for an aesthetic reason, it's wanting to get stronger, it's wanting to be more mobile. So that really depends. So when you watch this video, I want you to think about what your goals are with training, what you generally want to, where you want to see yourself, let's say in a year's time, what does that look like? It might be skill-based as well, that's another one. And then the other thing you want to assess is where you want to be, so what your goals are, and then where you're currently at or where your body's currently at. So this is looking at what is restricting you from getting better. We've all got something, like for example, I'll talk about mine. Definitely recovery is a big one for me, and if I get better at getting more sleep, then I will unlock my training. Okay? So the really cool way to do this is to think about where your gap is in your training. So what are you lacking? I've put a couple of examples up here. So a really big one, which I think a lot of people would resonate with, and it could be more than one of these, is mobility. So if you were more mobile, more flexible, but also you had strength in your end range positions, is that going to unlock a better squat for you? Is that going to unlock a better RDL for you? Core is a big one. If your core is stronger, is that going to help you with lifting more? Let's say you want to lift really, really heavy, but every time you start lifting heavy in a deadlift, your back starts to creep up a little bit. If you worked on core, is that where your gap is? That's a really big one. Strength/control. I wanted to put control as a really big one because yes, we can lift heavy weights, so we can put as many weight plates on as we like, but do we have control in that full range? A really great way to think about it is like a pull-up. Do we have the strength to do an eccentric pull-up? So start at the top and really slowly lower through that full range. So we want to think about control in regards to it being a really essential component of having strength. Technique stopping you from unlocking your training? This one's a really big one, and it's one that we're focusing on hugely at Prana moving forwards, because it is essential, and we'll find, we can squat with okay technique, we technically can. Will you be able to ever get better or load it or do it safely for the rest of your training life if you don't get the foundation technique right? No, it's a no. So that's a big one, is technique stopping you. Recovery, I say this as I need to do it. Is your sleep prohibiting you from being able to get better because your body's not actually recovering properly, so you're technically fatigued for your next session, and then that's going to lower your performance. That's a big one. Nutrition's also a big one, especially in regards to weight loss, guys. Obviously, it's a huge goal for people with training as they want to lose weight, or especially with the AB challenge coming up. Is your nutrition the gap? Is that what's stopping you or preventing you from being able to do that? That's a really big one as well. The bottom line is, and it's an uncomfortable kind of thing to focus on because it feels challenging. It's not about training being easy or fun or great or all the things we see on Instagram. Get good at what feels shit. Okay? So, for example, mobility is a really big one. It feels uncomfortable to stretch because we'll be here like, oh god, my hamstrings, this sucks. Yeah, fair enough, it does suck when we don't feel mobile, but we're not going to get any better at it by avoiding it. So it's good to get comfortable with what doesn't feel good, because that's the only way we're going to improve. It's the same with core control or building core strength. It's never fun to train core, but is it essential for us to get better? Absolutely it is. So I want you guys to have a look at this board, think about where your gap is and what is going to unlock your training, what here you need to focus on to get better at what you're currently doing. And if anyone wants to have a chat about this, I am more than happy to speak with you. Obviously, mobility and core is a bit of my favourite things, so if you're finding out this is something that's limiting you and you're not too sure where to start, maybe you can't get below 90 squat depth, or your back starts to hurt, where needs to be improved that doesn't feel good. It's not just about training always feeling empowering and